Hello, everyone. This is Caleb with King's Advisors. And as attorneys, certain aspects of the legal system are extremely important to us. One of those aspects is due process. Now, the importance of due process, especially when it comes to the state you live in, was created by the 14th Amendment. Prior to the 14th Amendment, the Constitution governed only the federal government and you. What I mean by that is the Constitution only governed and only created rights and rules regarding the relationship between a citizen and the federal government. After the 14th Amendment, it governs the relationship between the state and you. So the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment creates a requirement that the state also does not pass any laws or regulations to prevent your free exercise of your rights. An example of that would be if a state were to say that certain people are only allowed to redress their grievances on days that end in Z. Well, there are no days that end in Z. And even if they said that people or specific people were only allowed to redress their grievances on Mondays, that's still a violation of your rights. Now, prior to the 14th Amendment, it's very possible that kind of law could pass because states weren't required to adhere to the U.S. Constitution in the manner that the federal government was. So I bring this up because due process is an incredibly important thing. Due process concerns the procedures that the government must follow before it deprives an individual of life, liberty, and property or property. An example of that is when someone is arrested, they must go before a judge and have the charges read out. Before someone is imprisoned, they must be found guilty of a crime. Now, there's definitely debate there to be had on bail and stuff like that. That's not what this video is about. I'm simply laying out due process in order to get to my point. The important thing to remember here is that due process is an agreement between governments and us, the citizens. It has nothing to do with private companies and things like that. Now, publicly traded companies still have to adhere to certain aspects of the Constitution. Now, I bring this up because earlier this morning I was scrolling through Twitter, I think, might have been Facebook, not sure. But I found a story that said, despite him being proven innocent, Cartoon Network was going forward with the recasting of Justin Roiland's roles on Rick and Morty. As you know, he voices the titular characters, Rick and Morty. And this really surprised me. Actually, I take that back. It didn't surprise me at all. So, back in March, I believe it was, March 22nd, Justin Roiland posted this to Twitter. I have always known that these claims were false, and I never had any doubt that this day would come. I'm thankful that this case has been dismissed, but at the same time, I'm still deeply shaken by the horrible lies that were reported about me during this process. Most of all, I'm disappointed that so many people were so quick to judge without knowing the facts, based solely on the word of an embittered ex, trying to bypass due process and have me, quote unquote, canceled. That it may have succeeded even partially is shameful. However, now the legal case is ended, I'm determined to move forward and focus both on my creative projects and restoring my good name. Now, this is not the first time we've seen this. Johnny Depp was removed from all of his roles after Amber Heard accused him of domestic violence. Jonathan Majors has been pretty much removed from everything without an actual confirmation from Marvel, even though he and his quote unquote victim have both said many times that he didn't assault her, that he was just trying to save her life. Danny Masterson was fired from the ranch for simply being accused. Now, that is a bit different because Danny has been found guilty in a court of law. The only issue being, that took 6 years. And of course, that was on the second trial. The first trial ended in a hung jury. And don't even get me started on Lucasfilm firing Gina Carano. Oh, I'm sorry, not renewing her contract. And then, of course, Louis C.K. back in like 2017 was fired from a bunch of projects because someone outed what he liked to do in the bedroom. Allegations that were later proven to be amicable and agreed upon by everyone involved. Am I supporting what he did? Am I supporting what any of these people did? Absolutely not. But I bring these cases up because of how important due process is. You know, Andrew Breitbart once said that politics is downstream from culture. And I think we're starting to see that a lot. In 2018 and forward, we started allowing companies to fire people simply for being accused of something. We started allowing Hollywood and the entertainment industry to bypass due process. 236 years of the Constitution being ratified, we have bypassed due process once in this country. And it's when Abraham Lincoln suspended habeas corpus for the state of Maryland during the Civil War. And now you can just be accused of looking at someone funny. You get some lady on TikTok filming herself at the gym, which, as we've seen so many times these past years, ever since filming yourself became a job, and someone gets accused in the gym of watching her or something like that, and they complain, or she complains to the manager of the gym, and that person loses their membership because the manager's too afraid to say, hey, that's a really dumb thing you do. Why don't you stop doing that? People aren't here to watch you. They're here to exercise. So many cases of people in college accusing people of sexually assaulting them. Time after time after time, they're proven wrong and false. Does that excuse someone when they do sexually assault someone? Absolutely not. You rape someone, you're no lower than the shit on my shoe. And you should live just long enough to be buried underneath the jail. But that does not excuse the lack of due process for people who are simply accused of something. Gina Carano made a truthful statement, a factual statement, and the purple hair, blue haired freaks on the internet went insane. Was Johnny Depp a really good husband? I don't know. I don't really care. Johnny Depp's not my father. I don't know Johnny Depp. I have no opinion on his husbandry skills, which is funny because husbandry is actually a word for something else. What I do know is he's a good person, that he takes time out of his day and time out of his year to go to hospitals dressed up as his well-known characters to make dying children feel better. Did he destroy hotel rooms in the 90s and early 2000s? Sure. But who hasn't destroyed a hotel room? The point of this video is to say that due process is important. And when we stop enforcing due process on the entertainment industry and start stripping it from our culture, how long until, as Breitbart said, it starts being stripped from our politics? Well, everyone, I know that was a really heavy topic today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you come back for more. And don't forget to subscribe to King's Advisors and follow us on Twitter at King's Advisors _. Thank you.